I would like to read some of the spiritual laws of life and give some interp, and we'll have some exercises, spiritual exercises, all from Eckankar, Sri Doug Kunin, and Harold Klemp. And then, of course, I like to open the Eckopedia, which is a dictionary of Eckankar terms and words, and even has things like Atlantis, if you're interested in that. A lot of people are nowadays. A lot of us have come back from there, or Lemuria. But really, it talks about, the God worlds and all this fun stuff. Okay, so heavens, dimensions, different masters, wonderful stuff. So I'm so excited to get started. A quick update. You guys are not going to see Hugh or Eck landing on me today because they are banned from this room right now. They are so cute, but they're landing on my head and pulling my hair out, and I think they want to nest with it. It's almost spring. So we'll see if Hugh and Eck are female and male. I'm not quite sure. So all that out there now. All right, let's see. Today we're going to start with the spiritual laws of life. Harold Klemp. He was the 973rd Eck Master, okay? And he wrote a ton of books that are incredible. You can get it at eckankar.org. I probably should spell it the other way. You guys know how to spell org. I always do that. It's weird at this point. Eckankar is ECKANKAR.org. So there you have it. And there's one in every state and many, 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 many countries. So you can also look up where your local one is if you want to go to a group discussion. That's fun, look it up. Okay, so the law of, what are we talking about today? Destiny. Ooh, with Valentine's Day around the corner too. I have a feeling it's not exactly about romantic destiny, but hey, why not? Okay, the law of destiny. Soul comes into the world to accomplish an assortment of tasks. These assignments, taken as a whole, make up its destiny. Do you have any idea what your destiny is? Do you have any idea what your purpose is here? Is there something that you feel that you're supposed to do? And if so, are you doing it? If not, what's holding you back? And if it's holding you back, how can you change it? To set the tone for its mission, soul may come into either a healthy body or a sickly one, into comfortable means or poverty, with great intellect or a simple mind, with the favored color of skin for that era or not. Not once male, again a female, in the genders reverse, okay? They change. Hi, welcome. Happy to have you here. So we're talking about the law of destiny. Okay. The primal seed for each incarnation is under the umbrella of destiny, known to us also as past life karma. Okay. So if you were, let's say, racist in a past life, maybe against white people, or let's say you're racist against darker skinned people, then you're going to possibly have to live in the skin of the opposite race, the one that you were prejudiced against. Okay. So that'll be fun, right? Everything you think even matters. On a practical level, genetic, cultural, and social elements combine to determine soul's position in this world. For people on the lower end of the survival scale, the Lord of Karma alone chooses the time and place of rebirth. Whew, the lower end of the survival scale. Then you have to go before someone or some beings called the Lords of Karma. And you get to hear that lovely litany and list of things that you did that were good, impartially, and naughty, impartially. And then you see the scales tip one way or the other. There's a lot of, remembrances people have about and talk about, like in Egypt with the, weighing the feather and all that kind of thing. I do believe it is pretty much kind of like that. By definition, the survival scale is a yardstick of one's can-do instincts. But karmic placement does allow some people a voice in their place of birth. There's the good news. These are the individuals near the top of the scale who are always creative in some way, usually cheerful, upbeat people. Okay. So maybe it's good to be a little Pollyanna-ish. I don't know. Let's find out. Because of gains made in past life unfoldment, they have won a say in choosing their present incarnation. That's nice, right? You don't want to be just told this is your next assignment, and get boop, pushed right back in, okay? Destiny can be thought of as the equipment, talent, or gifts which a person brings to this life. What equipment, talents, or gifts do you have? And are you using them? Because you don't want to wake up in the other realms, having left your body, ended this lifetime, and then they ask you, how did you use your gifts? And you go, I watched a lot of Netflix. No, you have to use them, do stuff, do something. It remains for each of us to use them wisely. Once an individual makes a commitment to hold true to the teachings of Ek, also known as Eckankar, and follow the words of the living Ek master. Okay, again, if you are a Christian or a Muslim or Jewish, you can talk to any master you want, okay? The bottom line is inner master is inner master. You can see whoever works for you. This is all okay. We're all on different timelines and paths. It is a sure thing he will see his outer life run in new directions when you do tune into that master. So are you daily pausing and going, what's my next step? I'm a vessel. What is it that you want for me to do next? And then listening. So again, 2 ears to hear, 1 mouth to speak with. Trust me, it's an issue for me too. I mean, I could talk and talk and talk. This is part of why I have this channel, but I'm trying to channel my energy, which is quite abundant, into doing this kind of a talk. Okay. So are you listening when you're quiet to the inner master, whoever you listen to? Are you listening to the directions and then following through? You cannot hear it if you're flooding your brain with radio. Okay, maybe people don't listen to that nowadays. I just dated myself, but you know what I'm saying. TV, radio, phone calls, even you can get stuck on YouTube listening to, spiritual stuff even. Like, are you quiet? Are you taking the time to be quiet? It's so essential because that's when the next direction comes. Okay. A whole new chapter has begun when the master turns the page in the book of life. Whatever is expected when one begins an earnest study in Ek, or Eckankar, it is certain that the love of the sound current is smoldering in the center of the spirit. Sound current. What is the sound current? Well, why don't you listen to some birds, thunder? It's the voice of God. There's sound and light are the twin ways that God speaks to us. Okay? Twin ways. Moses saw the burning bush. That's light. Just saying. If you see orbs floating about or auras around people, that's light. If you hear a sound in your head, even sometimes, some people could even say they hear tinkling bells. That's you're hearing the causal plane. Okay, because every plane of existence has a different sound associated with it. The buzzing of bees, etheric plane. Zzz, okay, what are you hearing? Are you hearing wind, 7th plane? It goes on and on, I'm telling you. Then you know where you've landed. Okay, thunder is the physical. All right, so we just did that. Now, detachment. Oh, yeah, no one wants to talk about detachment, right? And yet, it is so important because we could be very positive, we could be very negative, but we want to be in the kind of neutral zone, the razor's edge, that fine line, where we're not veering too positive or too negative, kind of neutral, okay? So even when someone's telling you something, you want to kind of try to stay neutral for them. It's great to be empathic, yeah, okay, and you can express yourself, but neutrality, you don't want to take people's stuff on either, okay? But detachment, we'll see what this says. One of the 5 virtues and remedy for attachment, which is something we're trying to overcome in this lifetime. Greed, vanity, lust, attachment, and there's one more. Anybody want to write it below? Greed, vanity, lust, attachment, and there's one more, and I can't remember it right now. But detachment is, oh, thank you for being here. Thank you for learning with me, right? So detachment is the opposite of attachment. So one of the 5 virtues and remedy for attachment is detachment, also known as vairag. This is the release of undue attachments to worldly desires and possessions. You guys, we can't take anything with us, not our rockin' hot bodies either, okay? We cannot take the car, the house. We can't take anything. The nice designer clothing, it doesn't go with us. The only thing that goes with us is what we're doing now. We're addicted to water. Oh, that's a Q&A they wanted me to write. That is so weird. YouTube just sent me this thing that says, add a Q&A, ask people if they're addicted to water. I don't know what that was, but water is very beautiful. So we want to get back to the ocean of love and mercy. Very strange algorithm. Okay. Anyway, we do want to get back to the ocean of love and mercy. That's funny. So what are we attached to? We can't take it with us. The only thing we can take with us is our spiritual growth, and knowledge and wisdom and love is really what it's all about. God is love. Okay. And everyone has a different definition of what God is, and they're all right. No one's wrong because we're all sparks of. So you're different than me. I'm different than you. Your neighbor's different than you, right? But we can all respect that we all have that spark of love of God in us. We are created from it. So we are love. So are we acting in that loving way? When we sing the word hue, we our soul of the hue of the love, okay, of spirit, but our bodies are fleshy clay vessels that carry attachments and yearnings that are more negative, that go towards more negative. So when we sing the word hue, not only is our soul expanding in joy because we're remembering who we are, but our body is tingling with that hue. So we're raising our consciousness and our body too. So then we will have a better chance of not doing dumb, because it's really easy to do dumb here. Seriously, look around. I mean, they advertise it everywhere. There's so many things you can do that are so unhealthy, or, oh, gluttonous. Yeah, that's another one. There's so many things you can do. Lustful, attached, there's so many things. So we want to spiritualize not only remembering our soul is that, but when we sing it in our body, I feel like it just kind of encompasses us in a kind of a sheen of higher vibration. And higher vibration tends to, in my experience at least, repulse negative lower ones. Okay, it's kind of funny. It means simply that you can have compassion. You can enjoy life, absolutely. But if sorrow comes, it does not burden you until the end of your days. You are able to see the hand of God in it. You will pick yourself up and have gratitude for what blessings you retain. So the attitude, like Rodney Jones says, is everything is happening for you. Okay. He said that at a convention, and it just really was a big, oh yeah, that's right. It is happening for me, whatever it is, not to you. And so where is the lesson? Where's the lesson? Also, Sri Harold, I just recently read, said that he'd rather have people go and, make mistakes than sit home like a hermit, okay, in meditation, because the learning comes from making the mistakes. How can one, under the heat in the field of battle, hello, how can one become aware and retain this state of detachment? I like to sing the hue in the moment. I'm telling you, I've had people with, I've been around a person who is so angry about something that it was not about me, but it was still very hard to be around, okay? And I simply sang inside the hue. And then, of course, you don't have to stick around anyone who's being verbally abusive in any way, shape, or form, or yelling. That's disrespectful, and that's self-love, and saying, you know what, I can walk away when someone is being rude. I don't have to talk to them when they're yelling, okay? You can say to the person, I care about you, and when you calm down, we'll talk about this. But if you are deciding to stay, which I have made the choice to do too many times, I will sing the hue. Hue inside of my head. I won't sing it out loud while they're talking, right? And honestly, it's so funny. I feel like a force field comes out of me, and the person kind of goes like that. I've also had the experience driving and someone's tailgating me. And I'm like, "Oh, this is really not safe even." So I, instead of getting angry, think of them, I send them love because I'm like, "Okay, they're probably like something's wrong." I'm just gonna pretend in my head they're rushing to the hospital. Okay. So I oftentimes get out of the way and pull over to the side. But if I don't, I can't, I'll send them love and I'll be like, "Hugh," and I'll send love backwards. And I literally have seen like 9 out of 10 times the car will literally hit the brake and back up. They don't like to be around it. It's like it's two totally different vibes. So someone who's that angry around you in the heat of battle, as you said, um, sing the word Hugh. Hugh. And that will help a lot. Okay, so let's see. Okay. It means you can have compassion, enjoy life. If sorrow comes, it doesn't burden you. You're able to see the hand of God. You'll pick yourself up and have gratitude for what blessings you retain. Soul lives forever. And thank you for the question. I appreciate that. Forever by giving, not by receiving. So when you have all that love built up, it has to come out too. You know, your cup doesn't want to explode, it has to go out, right? It is a state of being like the sun, shining upon all alike, yet asking nothing in return. Detachment is the key to the spiritual worlds. And that is actually from the Eckapedia. Detachment is something we know about in the spiritual life. It doesn't mean not to get involved. It means to not let outer circumstances throw off your inner balance. So when that person is ranting and raving around you, you're still chanting the hue inside. Or there's another word, a spiritual word, kalam, Kalam, which means calming. It's like a calming balm. Kalam. Even the closing the lips on it's very calming to the body. It's like a massage for the inside, okay? But hue is even better. The word detachment is too cold. What is meant in spiritual terms is this: we as one with all. We as one with all. We are a part of all that is, a cell in the body of love. We'll have a certain amount of pleasure and pain, but will not let it affect our emotional balance too greatly to throw our minds into the extreme poles of joy or sorrow. We don't get thrown and blown with the wind as easily. The real control is detachment from fear. False evidence appearing real. Oftentimes when someone has a fear, it's from focusing on past, okay? Or a fear of what your future might. So you're like writing a script in your mind about what might happen. And so much more often than not, those things never come to pass. So you're literally living a play in your head that is making you feel bad. You know, changing your thoughts immediately is really useful. Just change your thoughts fast. Detach from it. Don't give it any power. Don't give it any power. When you go, but when you start to talk to your mind and you go, "Oh, but that's not going to happen because blah, blah, blah," you give it power. Don't explain yourself. New thought. "Oh, the birds are beautiful. The flowers are growing." Whatever, something nice. Okay, once you have gained this important attribute of God, then you can enjoy greater life. Detachment gets you a greater life. Yes, you can have a joy mixed with pain and not be affected to the same extent as previously. Only when fear is in control of those two poles is your life attached to its physical, mental, and spiritual possessions. Give up fear, and you need never give up another thing in your life. Whoa. Give up fear, and you need not ever give up another thing in your life. Great joys, physically, mentally, and spiritually, can become yours, balanced by what sorrows there need to be in your life. Yes, we all have things we have to go through, that's for sure. But when you let go of that fear, you allow more good in, more good than not. Ooh, the razor's edge. Okay, again, that razor's edge. The razor's edge is one's calm detachment from the things of this world. calm detachment. Yet, he may enjoy them as a blessing of life, for past karma has brought them for his experience. So even when you have to go through something, you know, we all are here working off karma from past lives. Some of us remember, most of us don't even remember. So it's like, instead of going into the, oh, this isn't fair, why'd this happen? Well, sometimes it's just better to say to yourself, maybe I did something that was not so great in another lifetime, and I have to balance this out now, and that's okay. How can I balance this out and live this as gracefully as possible? There is no virtue in suffering, poverty, or martyrdom unless the individual needs those experiences for the purification of soul. So, again, going through it as stoically as possible. In fact, I believe Epictetus was an Eck master. There's a long list. I actually have one video where I know there's 974 Eck masters, and I read a bunch of them off, maybe 100. I couldn't even pronounce half the names. So you guys could check that out somewhere on my channel under one of the playlists, probably spiritual law / exercises. But I think Epictetus was an Eck master. Stoic philosophy. That's very interesting. I listen to a lot of Stoic philosophy videos as well. We don't need to be martyrs unless we need to be martyrs until we wake up and go, oh, we don't need to be martyrs. Okay. One must be detached from all love of material things and events, from all concern about them. That's not an easy order, right? Because we are so trapped in these physical fleshy bodies, and we have to live here. So it's not easy. The Chela or student attains this attitude because his love is centered above the perishable things of this world and reaches the heavenly planes. So when you realize that you're eternal, having a temporary human experience, then it's like, okay, yeah, well, I'll make the most of it here, and, I try to enjoy it too. But again, my home is in the other worlds. And oftentimes you can have dreams where you wake up in those different planes of existence, in a bed, even in a different home, and you start to get to remember them. So, and you can even go back to the same places, especially if you chant the word Hugh before you go to sleep. I find that it's much easier to get to exactly where I want to go if I do that prior to sleeping. Okay, sing Hugh and ask too. I like to ask too, where am I most needed and all that. But sometimes if I want to be more selfish, I'm like, I really want to go back to that house. Oh, I miss it. It was so cool and fun. Okay. From the love of objects of the senses, man has desires, like my desire to get back to my beautiful mansion in the other worlds. Yeah, that's a desire. That's an attachment. I can admit that. I'm still learning. But from his desires rise anger. Ooh, well, I'm not angry if I don't get there. But anyway, from anger proceeds delusion, and from delusion comes confused memories and senses. This destroys his love of God, and from all this he perishes. So we don't want to let anger take over. That's really important. Like, walk away. If someone's upsetting you, you don't want to ghost people, but if they're being really rude, you don't have to take their stuff on, okay? If they're being really, making and angering you, you can breathe, take a deep breath, and remind yourself that, don't let the anger take over, because then you lose your foothold in the love that you are working so hard to stay in, right? This destroys his love of God, and from all this he perishes. But when he is disciplined and places his love in the Mahanta, then does he move among the objects of his senses, free from pleasures and free from pain, but mostly free from self-indulgence. Okay, so you're not like you're a leaf being blown around in the wind. You're sort of like that, but with faith that you're being taken to the right places. Like if you're driving and you see an image in your head of going to this one place that you didn't plan to, I tend to now listen to that. So I'm very unpredictable about what I'm going to do in life because I'm on a different clock and schedule. It's kind of like, oh, okay, I guess I'm going there now. Let's see what's going to happen. Charity is what the Christian Bible speaks of as goodwill. We call it vairag or detachment. Vairag is the detached state of consciousness. This goes along with God realization. Detached does not mean without compassion, uncaring, or without love. It means simply that you can have compassion, you can enjoy life. But if sorrow comes into your life, it does not burden you until the end of your days. You are able to see the hand of God in it. There are a few individuals who do drink from this water of immortality. They learn to work with the enzymes and to reverse the aging process because they have a mission. They are not concerned about staying in the body or not. They don't care. They just do their work. The person who qualifies is one who learns to work in the state of vairag or detachment. This does not mean giving up all interest in the family, throwing away all emotions and walking through life like a zombie, a computer-controlled robot, and then saying, I am now in the detached state. No. One who does that is actually in the sleep state. So you can't force it. It's just got to be you evolve to that place, I guess, is what he's saying. Detached means seeing the play of life, crying when we must, laughing when we can, but at all times, looking at life from the viewpoint of soul, knowing that even this shall pass away. Everything does. You could have been in great deep pain and trauma, 10 years ago, and then you fast forward and you're like, wow, that's like a distant memory. Huh. Yeah, it was really horrible when it was happening, but now I'm good and I got stronger because of whatever it is that you went through, right? Detached does not mean unemotional. It does not mean unemotional. So you could be extremely, incredibly empathic and emotional and tuned into other people's emotions, too much even. But it doesn't mean you're unemotional if you're detached. It means that no matter what we have in life, we will not be crushed if it is taken from us. It means we have the attitude of total trust in life to give us what is for our own spiritual benefit. Oh, yeah. So it's complete trust and faith. That's beautiful. I love that. So that's detachment. And ironically, the greatest thing just happened. I just opened up to the spiritual exercise today, and I did not know this, you guys. It's so synchronistic. And it's the dream exercises. It's titled, you can't make this stuff up. I get so geeked about this. It's number 11 in the spiritual exercises of Harold Klemp. And it is called Learning About Surrender. Oh my gosh. How synchronistic is that with detachment, surrendering, and all that? Okay, so I have several, of Harold Klemp's spiritual exercises, and one of Sri Doug's that he did in the Dominican Republic. Hola. And it's in the, again, spiritual laws and exercises playlist. You can find it there, but this one is now going to be added to it. So it's number 11. It's called Learning About Surrender. So this is great. During contemplation, we're switching avenues now. This is an exercise you can do that is going to help you surrender and to up-level your spiritual self, okay? Which is the only thing that's eternal. All right. During contemplation, declare yourself an instrument for the love of love for the Sugmad, God, the Ek, and the Mahanta. Declare yourself an instrument, a vessel, a vehicle of love for Sugmad, Ek, Mahanta. Or you could say God, love, whatever, Christ, whatever you want to say, insert. But declare yourself a vessel, okay? Softly sing Hugh for a few minutes. Now you could even sing love, 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 okay? And you may hear the sound of like a pulse or an electrical current, okay, or buzzing. And this is one of the many sounds of the Holy Spirit. I've personally experienced that, and it's wow. It's really wild, you guys, but it's just really real, okay? If the sound is loud and stays with you after contemplation, making you restless and unable to sleep, ask the dream master, how can I surrender to the sound of God? Okay, so again, You're getting quiet. You're declaring yourself an instrument of love for God, for love, okay? And spirit. You listen, you get quiet. And imagine the dream master telling you he will teach you about surrender in the dream state tonight. Okay. So you kind of have made a plan to learn about surrender in the dream state. He instructs you to first still your thoughts. Then repeat to yourself the phrase, I surrender to the Ek, which is another word for spirit. I surrender to spirit. I surrender to spirit or the Ek. Okay. Either way, you can say whatever you're more comfortable with. In the morning, write down your dreams and take them into contemplation. What did you learn about surrender? What did you learn about surrender? How do you surrender? How does one surrender? I mean, so many people think of surrender. It's like, oh, that's a negative connotation because maybe in past lives you've been in war and you're like, oh, I surrendered and they killed me. Okay, yeah. No, surrendering is, you could think of it like opening yourself in love to wisdom and love, really. So you're not keeping your shields up, shields down. I'm open for guidance. I'm open to learn. I'm open to grow. Surrender. Okay. That's a kind of surrender. So, wow. Next, we get to Eckopedia time. I feel like I'm teaching again. This is so funny. But, okay. So I'm going to open up any page in the Eckopedia, the Eckankar lexicon. Okay, so it's basically a dictionary of Eckankar terms. So here we go. Oh my gosh. Again? Atlantis? Okay, well, here we go. This is what all right, here we go. I'm just gonna, it's last time I did Atlantis too. Someone must have some Atlantean lifetimes here. Yeah, okay, so, well, it talks about Atlantis, but it also talks about Hittites. So here we go. Most of us have had past lives as Hittites. Our gods controlled the weather, fertility, health, and the raising of crops. Myths still linger from the ancient religions of the Atlanteans and the Hittites. Priests then had already created a divine being both vengeful and good, wrenching people's emotions back and forth between fear and love. They beat down the faith and spirit of man. Broken in will, man meekly accepted outer authority in the chains of spiritual bondage. In contrast, Ek masters encourage initiates to acquire and live by the highest attributes of total spiritual freedom, total awareness, and self-responsibility. I like that they say self-responsibility too. And I love that it's about freedom, total awareness. Not that you have to go to some third party to talk to God. Are you kidding me? But that's what's been drilled into a lot of our minds, having had many past lives, maybe in other religions, without naming any, that teach us that we, don't have this connection that we actually do, because we do have the connection. So anyone telling you you need someone else to talk to God, I'm telling you straight up, it's not true. You can talk to spirit right now. You don't have to be in the temple. You can go anywhere. You can do it. You can do it anywhere, literally. Okay. I'm going to do another one. Here we go. La 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 la. Does anyone have a letter they want me to choose? I'll open to that. If you type in a letter, then I'll open to that in the Eckopedia. I'm looking. All right. I see J. I don't want to say your name wrong. Josu. Okay. Maybe that's right. Well, we're going to do a J for you. If you're still here. J, H-I-J. Okay. So J. Here we go. With. I got to scroll up. Josu. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Okay, here we go. Here we go. I got Jesus, and he's even in here. That's cool. For anyone who loves Jesus, okay? The embodiment of the Christ consciousness. He once was an Ek Chila, under Zadok, the Eckmaster in Judea. Wow. Who gave him the basic fundamentals of Eckankar. So Jesus was a Chela under a master. Out of this knowledge came what is known today as Christianity. Boom. Okay. That is kind of cool. I actually love Jesus too. He is a great being. Okay. So let's see who else, what else. You put with, so I'm assuming you want a W. Okay, so I'm going to go for the W. Way of the Eternal. All right, here we go. Way of the Eternal. Thank you for the hearts. This is another name for the Shariat Ki Sugmad, the ancient and most holy scriptures of Eckankar. The Shariat Ki Sugmad means Way of the Eternal. The sections of the Way of Eternal are placed in golden wisdom temples on the various planes under the guardianship of Ek masters. Ek Chelas travel to these temples with the Mahanta in their soul bodies to be taught the sacred and secret truths contained in the Way of the Eternal. And you guys, I'm telling you straight up, it is real, because like in the beginning of my becoming an Ekist, I had these experiences where I would see something, I didn't know what I was seeing. And then when I actually went to the one physical temple on the planet, and not in the super physical or on a different plane of existence, but there's one in Chanhassen, and I went to it and I looked up and it was exactly what I was seeing in my soul travel experience. That's probably where my body floated through, honestly. And so yeah, it's incredible. The Way of the Eternal. Every time I read the Shariat Ki Sugmad, like dozens of times now, I think it changes every single time I read the Shariat Ki Sugmad. It changes. Get the Shariat Ki Sugmad if you can. You can probably, you can go to eckankar.org, ECKANKAR.org, and I'm telling you, it will explain everything. Everything. A fun thing to do also, you just can open any book, the Shariat Ki Sugmad, just open and point to a page. I had sung at the Temple of Ek, which I was so deeply humbled and grateful to do. What an experience. And I was in the temple waiting to sing, like in the back temple waiting to sing in the bigger temple. And I was alone in that room, and it was incredible because it's usually very busy, smaller room, chapel. And I opened the Shariat Ki Sugmad, and it was like, it was exactly what I needed to hear. I'm telling you, just have to believe that this stuff is real, and then you will be shocked at the things that occur. Okay, so any other letters, anybody? Okay, let's see. Anyone? Let's see. I'm gonna do one more. Surat technique. I don't actually know what this one is. And I thought I knew all of these. Okay. Surat, one of the soul travel techniques of Eckankar, wherein one listens. Oh, okay. For the sound current. Okay. Yeah, that's cool. You can just focus on hearing instead of your third eye, instead of seeing. You can focus on listening. Does anyone have any other questions? I think we're like almost 40 minutes in. So let's see. I want to see if there's something about the circle of nine silent ones. Ooh, let's give homage to the 9 silent ones. Thank you, 9 silent ones. Okay, these silent ones are a very mysterious brotherhood. Agents of the Sugmad, their main duty is to gather up and sort out the unchanging laws that enfold every ripple in life. They gather and sort the unchanging laws. There's also a larger body of silent ones made up of the Mahavakis and Valapuks. I probably butchered those words. My apologies. They run the clockwork of the spiritual material worlds. They come and go like shadows. Wow. And then I want to see if there's something called Circle of 9. I believe they're different than the 9 silent ones. 9 is a very auspicious number. In fact, when I was practicing with Master Shi Hengyi, I was doing some of his like qigong and online. He talked about the number 9 too, and he's a Buddhist, and he was talking about how 9 is where you want to do your count up to 18 or 36 when you do a repetition of some kung fu move. It's probably not kung fu. I'm very sorry. I don't know what the other word is for it. Circle. Circle, H-I. Circles of initiation. Okay. The stages or levels of initiation in Eckankar are often referred to as circles. For a list of the initiations, see page 336. Okay. So if you choose to sign up for Eckankar, they'll send you a book and you only read one chapter per month, okay, throughout the month. And there's one spiritual exercise. It's created that way to unfold. What about the number 40? I know that the number 4 is about stability, but that's not about Eckankar. That's one of the other paths that I learned about when I was studying the chakras and numerology. The number 4, and if you have a number 4 in your chart, like if your birth date adds up to, let's say you're born, January 1st, 1911. Okay, that's a 4. 1 1. No, that's not. I totally messed that up. Whatever. Pretend your number came out to 40. Okay, when you add up your birth month, date, and year. Not an Eckist thing. Just something I know from Dan Millman's Way of the Peaceful Warrior. A 4 is about doing things in order. Okay? People who have a 4 energy, they can get tripped up and be a little ADHD or ADD, in the sense that they feel overwhelmed if you have that in your number, okay? So it's very important to like make a list and then cross one thing out. Done. Focus only on that one task at hand. Then 2, cross it out, done. 3, cross it out, done. So that's all I know about that. It's supposed to be stability. Yeah. Okay. Hope that answered your question. It's not Eckist in any way. Oh, but maybe you weren't asking about the 4th initiation. Okay. So there are different initiations in Eckankar, and they have you working in the different planes of existence. So an acolyte, someone who just joins, is working in the physical, becoming a master of the physical plane. When you're in your 2nd, you're becoming a master of the emotions in the astral plane. When you're in your 3rd, you're becoming a master of the causal plane, which is where the Akashic records are stored. And that's the past lives. So you're dealing with all the karma there and past lives. And then the 4th is the mental and etheric. And then you get to the 5th planes of existence and above. It's the love and above worlds. And it continues endlessly. So every master, every Mahanta, every Ek master, every angel, every spirit, every, sprite, every being that exists, no matter how high they go, there's still a next step. So it's never going to be boring, and don't have to sit on a cloud and play a harp or something, though that would be lovely for, I don't know, a good hour maybe. Then I think we'd get bored. So it's never ending. Any other questions? Hopefully I can find the answer from, I have been in 5 different religions in this lifetime, finally found Eckankar. I just wasn't ready to join it, I feel like, for a while, and then I did, but yeah. Cosmic consciousness, a level of realization, enlightenment of the intellectual senses on the mental plane. Another good one. Thank you for the hearts. Hearts back to you. Lots of love. So yeah, if anyone wants to ask anything, if not, I'll probably just end it. Ooh, elementals. There are elementals. I get totally excited, you guys. I listen to clean, happy, like fantasy stuff. Like there's some great writers um, that have nice things like with gnomes and fairies and stuff. It doesn't have to be creepy and scary. I don't like to listen to those, but this talks about elementals. So I'm going to read this and then I'll sign off, I think. Okay. Near the bottom of the spiritual hierarchy are the four elementals: gnomes, salamanders, undines, and sylphs. The gnomes are the earth creatures in charge of earth elements, gold, silver, minerals, etc. Next are the salamanders, the fire elementals, which live in the fire and look like small lizards or dragons and take care of the fire, sometimes destructively, sometimes for the good of man. That is so interesting. I used to have dreams of them. The undines, which are the water spirits, the mermaids of legend, live in the world of water and take care of that element. Element, not elephant. Last are the sylphs, the air spirits known in fables as fairies, which control the air elements. They look like graceful young women, are gentle until they are disturbed or become angry. Storms are said to be the result of their rages. Wow. There's so much to know. And so many of us vibe with one thing or another, you know. And just because you don't necessarily have an affinity for something doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Just like some people say, oh, well, we're the only planet that has people on it. It's really, for some reason, that annoys me a lot. I shouldn't be annoyed. You know, I'm working on not being annoyed about that. But it's just that I remember past lives as an alien personally. Okay. You could call me weird. I don't care anymore. It's okay, because I have that remembrance like very vividly. And so like, think about it. How many planets there are. There's absolutely life on them somewhere else. Okay. And they're very advanced races. Okay. So just saying. What else? What else? I think that might be it. But the bottom line of this whole thing is to become the love that you are, and to do no harm unto anyone else, and to do things with the thought not just of yourself, but of others too. You know, it doesn't mean you have to put yourself in bad situations with very, unpleasant, disrespectful people. You can love them from a distance. But in general, when you make a decision, you make it with everyone involved in your mind, okay? And becoming the love that you are. Chanting the word Hugh is huge. It will help raise your vibration. And I do it 20 minutes a day, sometimes 40 minutes. And it has really helped to up-level me personally. I can say that from my own experience. And of course, you know, anyone who does it themselves will get their own results. And that's the only way you can actually prove something to yourself, is from your own personal experience. There's a YouTube video that's powder blue and yellow. I like to listen to that one. And because the voices blend, whereas the darker blue one with the yellow, you kind of hear one person stand out, and it kind of annoys me as a singer, because I'm like, I just want to vibe with everyone right now. So I don't want to hone in on one voice. But yeah, you can listen to it, play it in the background, and do it every day. Do it every day for a week. There's a huge challenge. And see what happens. You guys comment below later. Come back to this video and let me know if you did it, or any video. I read all my comments and comment. I actually respond to every comment so far. I do try to, at least. So yeah, try it, because that's what's going to show you. It's going to up-level you, and ideas come when I chant the Hue. It's like amazing. I'm so grateful that I know the word, and I'm grateful for the Mahanta energy, the inner master, and to be able to, you know, study this path in the open nowadays. It has not always been in the open, you guys. We're in a very blessed, privileged time. We used to have to hide to study and be afraid of being killed because, you know, we're studying Eckankar. It is a very ancient path. And if you have any past life remembrances where you're, you know, you probably, you know, eventually will get to one lifetime at least, where the authorities at the time were persecuting you or not letting you be who you are. I mean, that still happens, you know? So it's great that we're in more of an open time. I know people want to talk about how bad it is here, and I'm not going to even get into that. But the point is that it's also good. It's also good that we have these things available to us, right? We're able to study openly. So take advantage. Go to eckankar.org, ECKANKAR.org, and just start reading about it a little. And if you, the first night that I signed up, I had such an experience. Oh my gosh, in the inner, when I actually just said, I want to be part of this, please send me my first year study book, okay, where you only do 1 month at a time. Don't go past the 1 month. It's not good, okay, because then you're not doing what you're supposed to do. And I know someone who read all the book at once and had a massive amount of karma hit him. Okay, not good. And thank you for those hearts. Lots of love to you too. So basically, get the book. And so the first night that I did it, I still didn't understand all this stuff about Eckankar. I was new, but I'm very open and like went to sleep. You know, I was like opened myself to it and went to sleep. And I'm like, I had a very strong experience. Let's just put it that. Without getting into the experience, I had a very strong experience, which I didn't understand at the time. I thought it meant something else, but now that I know the terms, I was really being connected to the sound current, like in real time. I did not know what the words were, okay? In fact, I'm going to look up that word that I heard. I'm going to look it up and read it to you because that was an incredible... Bonnie. I did not know. Bonnie. I thought it was someone's name, but it says Bonnie. The sound current, the heavenly music, the Ek, which is the audible life stream, the melody, which is given by the Sugmad God through the Ek, the light and sound. I was connected that night and I heard Bonnie and I saw some guy with wild hair and I thought, who's Bonnie? I was so like, ignorant about it. But that was the first night that I signed up and I have not looked back. And let me tell you, in every other of the 5 religions I was in, and this is not a religion, it's a spiritual path. You can be in any religion. But when I was in the other 5 religions, I always had like, oh, I know there's more. I'm missing something. What is it? I read all the Buddha long discourses of the Buddha, which I love. I still have them here. I mean, there's some brilliant stuff. I mean, God bless the Buddha. I love the Buddha. I love Jesus too. I love them all. They're people, spiritual masters, beings that love God and that want to share and help up level everyone, the whole collective. So anyway, I get so geeked about this. Someone who's very sweet once said that Jane, I love you, if you ever watch this, that you called me the most enthusiastic Eckist. I really take that to heart in the most positive way. I am so enthusiastic about this path because I know it's just wonderful. So I'm not pushing it. You guys, you're wherever you are, do whatever you want to do. That's the cool thing. But I'm just geeked to share it. So thanks for being here. Like, subscribe, share this video with anyone you think it'll benefit, and chant the word Hugh. Let me know how it goes if you choose to. If not, that's cool too. You could chant the word love. You're still going to raise your vibration. Thank you so much for the hearts. I wish I could see who that's from, but it's not showing me anything. This is really weird. I have to get used to these lives. I think this is like my 6th or 7th live ever in 7 or 8 years now. So I'm going to stop so I don't keep babbling. And here's the 3 book reminders. Eckapedia, Harold Klemp, again, all Harold Klemp. Spiritual Exercises of Ek, Harold Klemp. We have 11 of them on my channel right now. Spiritual Laws of Life, Harold Klemp, the updated version. And these are also on my channel. So without much more, that's it. I'm done. I'm out of here. You guys make it a beautiful day. So much love. Thank you again for hanging out with me as we learn together. Mwah.